Hello everybody, Phenomenal Sir here, back with another episode of The First 15, the series where I play the first 15 minutes of newer underexposed indie games, and then share my thoughts and feelings about them. Now, your screen is blank, but do not panic, because today we have up Applesauce Apartments by Shallow Lagoon. Welcome to Applesauce Apartments, a spacious, low-cost living complex situated in the most desirable of rural locations. Become part of the lively community. Bask in the joys of a truly unique shared accommodation. Experience true convenience, a space to unwind your body and mind. Place your faith in us and ponder your humanity through our fantastic offers. And then it goes on a little longer about the perks of Applesauce Apartments. Your new forever home. Now, the game itself was published 1 day ago, shows a status of released, and the only reason it's not started up yet is because it's a little noisy in the opening menu. So let's get it started. Boom. Shallow Lagoon. We have 15 minutes on the clock, and Applesauce Apartments starts now. The rent is long overdue. Okay. Oh. My tenants grow complicit with comfort. Their fractured minds are beginning to fester. The sickly airborne plague of serotonin spores plant falsehoods of happiness within. This is a weird dude. Their wretched cores, joy is of no use in this world. The sweet essence of utter despair fuels the hearts and minds of the workers, churning the infinite wheels of profit. My leather-bound wallet swells in anticipation of their turmoil as they harvest sweet, sweet coin from the cold soils of this desolate world. How I crave the sweat-riddled sustenance of unbridled parasitic capitalism. My tenants are mere instruments in the pursuit of blind profit. I feel like somebody here had a bad experience with an apartment manager. I trust you to manifest my bidding. Go forth and harvest their labors. Okay. I do it. So these are doors. Anybody? Oh, God. Yikes! You always walk in on people unannounced like that? Gross, or hey stinky, why do you look like an apple? Gross. I know you are, but what am I? Actually, who am I kidding? You're right. Do you think it's easy passively watching as your skin decays, unable to scream nor halt the rot as the fungal spores take root within your flesh? Not long ago, I too was beautiful. This incessant poverty is the harbinger of both body and mind. My thoughts swell forth and falter under the strain of these countless hours spent toiling for mere pennies. For all this time, the only reward I reap, a dingy, rot-filled room, lorded over by the embodiment of greed itself. Mold festers in the dried remnants of my broken windpipe, this strained rasp, but a byproduct of my environment. You know not of pain. The ever-gnawing sensation of despair as you watch helplessly from the sideline of your own existence. Did I have ambitions? Yes, in another life I sought the simplicity of travel, vowing one day I'd travel the 7 seas in search of a purpose amongst the vast surfaces of this bleak planet we call Earth. Over time, the vapid, overbearing reality of this capitalist society crushed the very essence of such dreams, year after year cast into the inferno of minimum wage employment, as I hopelessly struggled in vain to afford the mere essentials of tepid sustenance and housing. Tell me, Why must we trample upon the dreams of others? In preservation of the wealthy. Ask yourself this. Do those very same people hold your best interests at heart? No. Would they not trample each other into the ground just to sell us back the very air we breathe? As I struggle for breath within the molded confines of this single-room apartment, counting the days till my inevitable demise, I can but weep for this society. I merely hope... Look, lady, I'm just trying to get the frickin' rent money, like, for real. Strive for more than this mere pursuit of preservation, thanklessly working ourselves into early graves for those oblivious to our strife. Sentience seems as though a curse, to perceive the cruel nature of this existence, the suffering we so casually inflict on one another. A single soul is of little significance in such a society. What power do we have to change this callous fate? Without wealth nor status, one's actions mean but naught. For all the well-intentioned decisions we are hopelessly ill-equipped to enact, the positive change we hope to see upon this planet, tormented by the knowledge that this lady needs to take a pill. Those within the capacity to opt not to build a bright future for all. You're here to collect the rent, aren't you? Have you been listening at all? Is our suffering but a joke to you flesh bodies? All we seek is the simple bliss of freedom, the merest joy of shelter, and brief respite from this constant teetering at the edge of starvation. The wealth hoarders lord over us, cackling as our bodies succumb to the mental exhaustion of a thankless, soul-crushing labor. All the time of our brief existence is whittled away, our persistent toils for naught as we break under the weight of this insurmountable exploitation. Rent. It takes all that we have, all that we are. Must you leave us with nothing? Harvest rent. You give me the frickin' rent. So this is how it ends. You've opted to rend my very soul and extinguish this bleak existence as mere payment for a landlord's incessant gluttony. You choose to destroy the fabric of my being, cursing me into the bleak void of oblivion. This needless cruelty to bar one from the potential of an afterlife. Why? Lady, you signed the contract. I mean, you moved in. Oh, Lord, we got another one. Here we go. Please just give me the rent money so I can go. Robert, don't be weird, man. I just talked to old lady Pearson. She is off her meds again. Please just give me the rent money so I can go. Oh ho ho. You're an odd-looking fellow. It's been a long old while since I've seen any actual human skin wearers around these parts. Recently, it's just been apple, apple, and more apple. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of fruit and verging on full-body metamorphosis myself, but lately the mold seems to be taking hold of more than just the tenant's forms. At first, I was admittedly pretty horrified when my pigmentation began festering into this sickly shade of putrid green. I even vomited a little when my fingernails inverted and my organs gradually fused into a sponge-like plantae that consumed my human nerves into a raging torrent of anguish. Those distortions of the flesh were little more than an appetizer, because it's not spelled with a Z if you say appetizer, for what was to come. The rot, it devours us. Imagine, if you will, every cell in your wretched body screaming out in blistering pain, begging for the sweet release of death, dude. Days upon days of writhing agony, watching as your mind wilts and your bodily husk festers, unable to intervene. This constant torture, and still they expect rent. These days I can barely muster the will to lift myself from my spore-riddled mattress. How can they possibly expect me to muster the vapid chalice of monetary gain with such afflictions? Our government has abandoned us. There is no budget for the suffering. They've left us out in the sun to decay whilst they lord around in their mansions, flaunting our purse. Here we remain, empty, broken, our souls to be reaped in the grand harvest, our minds destroyed by those bearing the ghastly title of landlord. You seem awfully worked up. And you wouldn't be? Watching those you cherish succumb to the insatiable void of poverty, seeing the light in their eyes extinguished through years of unbearable exploitation. These were good people, with bright minds and the abilities to sculpt great futures. You grind someone down enough, tell them each day they're no better than dirt, and soon they'll internalize that cruelty. They'll belittle their own potential and sink ever further into the harrowing depths of depression. This is no way to live, to be but a mere cog in the wealth machine that fuels the pockets of the heartless. This world is plentiful, and yet we pit ourselves against each other, trampling on the dreams of our fellow people in the vapid pursuit of monetary gain. Do they even enjoy it? Was it worth casting us into these wretched slums to drive the wedges of inequality yet further into the bloody, twisted heart of our society? There's no merriment to be found in this cycle of neglect and despair. The light of ambition that once drove me is all but extinguished. My dreams cling in desperation to the fading hopes of future joy. How long will they last? Am I merely chasing the ghost of an illusion that never was? What happens if you eat apples? What happens if you eat your kin? Cannibalism is not a practice we apple folk indulge in. The mere notion of our boundless fruit consumption prior to this wretched transformation of the flesh fills us with insurmountable guilt and terror. Picture, if you will, a lifetime blind to the horrors you inflict upon those without a voice. Take the animals, for example. Can't you hear the screams of the cattle you so greedily pile atop your plates? Were their lives of no worth to your desires of gluttony? This misery will be the end of me. Yeah, give me the rant, bro. Take what you will, to live is to suffer. Spill my lifeblood upon the floors of your palaces. This system was never built for the likes of us. Bro, I got 70 subscribers. I feel you. But you moved in. You signed the contract. Pay your rent. Shut up and pay the rent. We sculpted the very foundation of this modern world. We toiled in factories and broke our bodies upon the altar of progress, yet those above us seek only to see us harmed. Tell me, is a society so willing to crush the minds and souls of the exploited worth saving it all? All right, so we are at 12 minutes and 36 seconds, and I'm going to stop now because I don't think there's enough time to hear the guy behind door number 3 rant about the inequities of, capitalist life. So, thoughts and feelings. I don't think this qualifies as a game. I think this qualifies as one of two things. Either somebody trying way too hard to convince the choir that the world is set up to prey upon the weak, or it's somebody who got kicked out of their apartment because they lost their job or because of COVID or something like that happened, and essentially they couldn't pay the rent, and now rent is the root of all evils. Either way, I hear you. I get it. A little too verbose for me. This isn't a game. It's some kind of an experience. To the dev, nothing you're saying is wrong, but my God, are you taking a long time to say it? And you're saying it to people that get it. Like, trust me, the 1% are not getting on itch.io and looking for free indie games to play. So, you're preaching to the choir here. You're doing it with a weird background of like wah, 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 wah. And I don't know. I'm not gonna play it anymore. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be a soldier. I'm gonna be a soldier for truth, and I'm gonna spit facts at the speed of light, or the speed of sound, I guess, because they're coming out of my mouth, right? I'm spitting facts at the speed of sound, but after 2 doors of that, Jesus. Um, as somebody who made minimum wage for the vast majority of their employed life, I get it. Let's move on. Um, in terms of execution, it's really just pictures with a weird little wavy thing and like a glitchy thing on them. The sound, there is sound. The dialogue tends to go on a bit, and it was fun for a while to be like really into it and be like, "Wah!" But I wouldn't want to keep doing this for an extended period of time because all it did was give me a headache and make me sad. It didn't make me sleepy. That was just because my sleep schedule is messed up this weekend. So excuse the yawn. But yeah, for me, it's a game I've reviewed. In terms of execution, I will give it 3 stars. I, I don't really know how you could have done better, but I mean, you could have done worse. I don't know. 4 stars, whatever. um, Shallow Lagoon has also put out a large number of other games and books, collaborations. They've got a ton of stuff on here. Mail tampering as existential horror, street artist inspired designer papercraft art toys, worm fodder, gird gurd. There's a bunch of stuff here. I will give Shallow Lagoon a follow. Yeah, 4 stars. It was weird, but you didn't really do anything wrong, but it's here. Um, Other games I've reviewed. There you go. Thank you, everybody, as always, for watching. A link to the game will be in the description down below. And if you want to experience this for yourself, do so. Download the game. Give Shallow Lagoon a follow. Offer your support. If this game didn't do it for you, they've got a lot of other stuff here. There's 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 20. There's over 24 things here. It looks like some of the stuff's posted more than once, but there's a ton of stuff here. If you like the basic gist of what they've got going on here, then maybe something else they've got will interest you. So check them out. And while you're at it, be sure to check out all of my other first 15 videos. Be sure to, like and subscribe. And if there's a game that you want me to play, leave a comment in, the comments boxes for any of my videos. I'll see the comment. I'll find the game. And I will do my best to play it. But for me, this was just a little too depressing and a little too out there for a holiday Monday. So with that, I am going to leave it here. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, pay your rent, y'all. Later.